Everybody. So if you are part of any other LuLaRoe groups, you may have heard people talking about their why LuLaRoe, why they got involved in the company, and why they're doing this. And so I've been kind of, I guess, challenging myself to figure out how to describe my why and how to put it into words to share with you guys. And I've had a few days to kind of think about it and figure out exactly, how I wanted to say it and how I wanted to tell you. Because when I first start off explaining my why LuLaRoe, to me, it sounded very selfish because my initial reason for why LuLaRoe was for myself. It was just for me. It wasn't for anybody else. I'm not doing it for the money. In my head, I wasn't doing it for my kids. Whereas other consultants, you'll hear, oh, it's for my family, it's for my husband, it's for my kids, it's so we can go on vacations. And my reasoning sounded really selfish because it is for myself. So I guess I'll give you a little bit of background for those of you who don't know me very well. And maybe it will make a little bit more sense. About a year ago, I was 20 weeks pregnant and went to the doctor to find out that I was having a little boy, but we also found out that he had pretty significant abnormalities and was potentially not expected to live, and if he did live, would have really significant deficits and a whole lot of medical care. So my life instantly went from this perfect little husband, wife, one kid, another kid on the way, to 100% about Bennett. And everybody I talked to talked about Bennett. Everything on Facebook, people wanted to know about Bennett. Every doctor's appointment I went to was about Bennett or my health because of Bennett, or just everything Bennett. And at the time, that was totally fine because I was completely consumed with, I'm going to have this baby, he's going to survive, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can for him. And so I threw myself in 100% into taking care of him. And so then he was born, and he survived. Just to, we'll skip to the end. He did survive. I have a beautiful, almost 10-month-old. But it has been a really long road. He spent 6 months in the hospital at CHKD, and they were excruciatingly lonely months there. I had people there that I knew. We have friends, we have family. But unless you are in that situation, there's not a whole lot of people that really understand what we're going through. So my life was very much wake up in the morning, take care of my son and my husband, go to my other job, go to the hospital, come home, take care of my son and husband, get up and repeat the next day. Shortly before Bennett was born, I went to a LuLaRoe party at my friend's house, just kind of as a distraction, get my mind off things, hang out with some girls. I was hugely pregnant, so none of the clothes really fit me the way that I wanted them to, but since it was my friend and I wanted to support her party, I went ahead and bought a couple of things anyways. And then, after I had Bennett, I had these leggings and I had this Irma, and they were amazing to put on, and I felt good in them. And, I had this baby belly that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, and I was working on like no sleep and stress and, whatever craziness like anybody has after having a baby. But I put these clothes on and I felt amazing in them. I realized like I would go to my job and, people would talk to me about my clothes instead of talking to me about Bennett. and that felt awesome. And I would go to the hospital, and nurses would talk to me about my crazy leggings, and and then give me the update on Bennett. And wherever it was, I found myself then giving people advice on how to wear LuLaRoe, and helping them find groups to join and consultants to buy from, and how to wear different pieces and how to put things together. And I realized that I was good at that, and it felt good to be talking to somebody about something completely off the subject of my kids, and how things were going with them. And it was something that I could focus on, and not get my mind off of it. I wasn't about all of the medical stuff. So then I still hadn't decided. I kind of had this thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, I don't know, but I'm not good at sales. Well, I went to, I bought something from my friend, longtime friend from growing up, and somebody that I had kind of lost touch with, but was a LuLaRoe consultant. And I bought something from her that sadly was defective, so I had to return it. I took it back to her house, and we ended up talking LuLaRoe and how this worked and how it all went. And I was just so grateful to kind of see her space, and to imagine doing that myself. And I got questions answered, and just was able to kind of ask her whatever and spend time talking to her about it. And so from then on, I researched and prayed about it and thought about it and planned, because that's what I do in the marriage, is I do all the planning and thinking and answering the what ifs. And then I go to my husband, and I've already got an answer for every question that he could have. So when I went to him about LuLaRoe, I was anticipating having to present all of this information, and he just was 100% supportive, which was amazing. And I have received so much support from him since starting this, that more than I have felt like ever in our marriage. So it's been amazing. So I jumped into LuLaRoe to have something completely for myself, something that didn't have anything to do with Bennett, something that didn't have anything to do with Clayton or my husband, something that in some ways at that time was very selfish, something that made me feel good amidst all of this stress that we had going on. But what I have found is that in making me feel good, it has created a level of confidence in me. I feel good when I'm wearing the clothes, but I feel good helping other people wear the clothes and helping other people find their love with LuLaRoe. And it's a way, if I could put into one complete sentence of my why LuLaRoe, my why would be to fuel myself so that I am able to serve others. I'm active at my church, and I've always been, but this is another way, to add to that. This is, I have a job, I have a full-time job that serves others by nature, just by default of the job. And this is something additional that I can do, helping women feel good, feel the way that I did when I started wearing LuLaRoe clothes, feel the way that I did when people started talking to me about LuLaRoe and started asking questions and I started giving advice. So the simple explanation is the day-to-day for me, LuLaRoe started, my initial why was for myself. But what I'm finding is that the long-term why is not just about me. It's about serving others, and it's about providing something better for my family, being a better mom so that I can provide better for my family. So I don't want anybody to be afraid to do something for yourself. And I think it's good for us to do things for ourselves so that we can be better people and, help be better moms and better wives and daughters and sisters and whatever your role is. I think it's important to take time to do things for ourselves so that we can be better in those roles. And so for me, LuLaRoe is something that helps me to be more confident, more comfortable, helps me to relieve my day-to-day stress, and just helps me to be a better mom and a better wife and a better friend. So if you have questions, you want to know more, you want to know about being a part of LuLaRoe, please don't be afraid to message me, and I would be happy to talk to you about it. Thanks, guys.